Of our new way of life for the foreseeable future. Congratulations on surviving and I hope thriving in your first week of business or life, being agile, resilient, and adapting to the circumstances that are beyond us right now. Last night I received a request from a good friend of mine, Brian Ritter. He said, Keith, in the video yesterday you talked about this idea of, does it honor and does it serve? And he asked me to explain that a little bit further. So in a few minutes, here it is in a nutshell. The first thing that we have to start with is that the human experience, our reality, occurs through language. Whether it's our own independent thoughts or our spoken word, it's in our language that we experience our relationship and create our relationship to reality. And so the question becomes, how do we make sure, as the author of that language, that we're utilizing that extraordinary power to create through our thoughts and through our spoken word, and create in a way that is fulfilling and meaningful and contributory to ourselves and to the world around us. And that's where the question, does it honor and does it serve, come into play. So the first set to be aware of is in your own self-awareness, your I am statements, who you're choosing to show up as this week. Look, every person, the current research suggests that human beings have 40 to 60,000 thoughts per day. 98% of those are identical to the thoughts we had yesterday, and 80% of those are negative. And when you just start to examine your own thought patterns, when you wake up in the morning, what your first thoughts are about that alarm clock, what your first thoughts are about who you're going to be today or who you're being right now. When you go look in the mirror before you get in the shower, the things you say to yourself. I want you to start there with a new sense of self-awareness about the internal conversations that you're having and asking yourself, are you honoring and serving yourself through the labels that you're attaching to your own life? That's part one. The next shifts to how we treat and think of others. When we have a phone call pop up with somebody's name on it, when we see someone walk into our office or call us or whatever that looks like remotely right now, what are the thoughts that we go ahead and attach to that person? Do they honor and do they serve? And then when we start to look at our motives, how we're choosing to treat our employees right now, our colleagues right now, the world around us, our community. At a time when we have the ability to either band together or be torn apart, the language that you choose to apply in your own thoughts to how you choose to see others. Ask yourself, does it honor and does it serve? And lastly, as it relates to the way that we're going to treat this community around us, our customers, in all that we're doing right now, are we trying to manipulate and take advantage, or are we genuinely prepared to honor and serve our clientele in a way that adds extraordinary value to them? Look, I am the first to tell you, I have been fluctuating this week between how I'm going to honor and serve people and out of pure self-serving fear for where I'm going to get my next paycheck and how I'm going to keep my business going in a time when public speaking is not exactly a particularly hot commodity. And so I get it, man. I have gone from being depressed, first of all, being dismissive last week, to being depressed as the reality set in, to being optimistic, to being terrified, and back to being excited. I've been drinking entirely too much at night. I've been not handling things perfectly. And then some days I've been getting my exercise in and feeling like I could take on the world. It's been a weird week for me and a tough week for me. But I know that as I continue to reach back into these reserves of honoring and serving myself and others, that I re-find my alignment to keep moving forward in a way that's producing value in the world. And man, the world will take care of me, and I know that if I just trust. So my closing message for the week to you is to honor and serve yourself and others in all things that you do. And in that, now would be a great time to take a step back, look at the week you just had, and offer up some gratitude to the people around you who have helped you survive this week, whatever survive means for you, or those who have helped you thrive this week, whatever thrive means for you. All right, love you guys. We'll catch you next week.